Look, it's no good for business if you're supposed to be rebellious and a rule breaker, and all you do is be whiny and lame.
Well, with that said, it's probably about time I stopped bitching about Metallica then. After all, they're only one of the most successful rock acts in the history of music ever. And there's also a lot that can be learned from them. Now, as a novelist looking for a publisher myself, one of these lessons I find absolutely fascinating. Not only because it has to do with the very foundation of how Metallica came to be the successful act that they are today, but it was as applicable to them in the early 1980s as it is to social marketing and self-publishing today. In 1982, Metallica were giving away copies of their demo No Life Til Leather. And one of the things that they did when they gave it away was they encouraged people to copy it and distribute it among their friends. Now, years later, in the fallout from their scrap with Napster, this would of course become a bit of a bone of contention. But it has an interesting point to it. As the artists, and therefore the owners of the material that appeared on the demo tape, they could do whatever they wanted with it. And what they wanted to do with it was give it away. Now that leads us to two things to consider. First of all, free stuff is good. First of all, let's consider the inherent goodness of free stuff. Free stuff is great. Everybody likes free stuff. I don't think anybody would say that they didn't. The really good thing about free stuff is by virtue of the fact that it's free, it's really easy to get to your audience. Oh, but wait, you don't have an audience yet. You need to build one. How are you going to get people to take action on something if they don't know who you are? That's why it's easier if you're giving them something. I think we can all agree it would be a lot easier to get them to take action if you were giving them something. To clarify, let's look at Metallica again. Metallica are a metal band. Not everybody likes metal. Not everybody who likes metal likes Metallica. So in order to find those people who are really going to like it, you're probably going to have to go through a number of other people who may like it to varying degrees, from not at all to kind of. So therefore, if you're trying to establish an audience, you need to get out to a lot of people. The more people who hear it, the more of them are going to recommend it to more people, and therefore, eventually, you should get to a point where things start to snowball. So let's look at the Metallica method again. Create a demo, give away the demo, encourage people to give away the demo to other people, keep doing so until the right ears are hearing your music. Of course, you might say that was all fine and well in 1982, but having a prowl around on the internet, I found that there are actually a number of people who are doing this very thing in publishing today. For example, David Menon Scott, creator of the World Wide Web. By offering free, high-value ebooks, including one of the most widely read business white papers ever, David Menon Scott was able to establish a level of credibility and audience that enabled him to go on to publish more books and become hugely successful in his field. Now you might say, okay, that's fine and well, that's a good business example. Ebooks, business go hand in hand, right? But what about David Moody? David Moody self-published the Autumn series of post-apocalyptic zombie novels, and his latest effort, Hater, has now been picked up for production as a major feature-length film. So from those examples, you've got one of the most successful rock acts ever, and you've also got two highly successful authors. So do we see a pattern emerging here? I think we can. Self-published free stuff is a very effective tool, especially if it's created carefully and strategically employed. But of course the big question is, has any of this changed the way that you think about giving your hard work away? Hit me back with an answer. I'd love to hear from you.
The $1 Million Challenge is a unique TV collaboration to help you make more money. Join now to get free access to the world's top sales, marketing and internet experts direct from your desktop. There are hundreds of shows like the one you've just seen. Tap into the combined experience of dozens of world-leading experts and thousands of other business people. There are also low-risk, results-based options if you're looking for more help. Sign up today.